You're so prancy, dude. You've always been such a prancy puppy. So I swear I quit looking for cars a while ago. I don't need to get any more, but they just kind of find me, like the Monte Carlo. I wasn't looking for Monte Carlo. That deal just kind of fell in my lap. Now I got a Monte Carlo with a 383 in it. And that's kind of the same case with this car right here, but this one's a little bit more of a fun story, so let me get into it. Well, there's no sense in teasing you guys anymore, because I'm sure I probably put the car in the thumbnail, but this is my new 1987 Foxbody Mustang. Now, while it may look like crap, it's really quite solid. There's very little rust. The interior all torn apart for some reason, but it is all there, minus the steering wheel. I do have the front end. The fenders are just sitting on it right now, and there's no engine, transmission, anything like that. It does have an 8.8 in it, which is dope, and it for some reason has this really weird hitch right there. I don't know why they decided to put it there or why they decided to put it on this car at all, but I guess we got a drag week car. Probably not, but you know, I might leave it there because who does that? We'll get more into the car in a second. This is more about the story of how I came to own this car, because aside from gas and 50 bucks that I've spent on another hood for it, I don't have any money into this car. Let's see if I can get this fender off. There you can get an idea on you can get an idea of how like solid the car is. Like, we're in Michigan. If it's gonna rust, it's gonna rust up here where it's throwing salt and shit. So my buddy Brandon, who you guys know from that pink and blue Mustang I put the parachute on, and he owns the orange Camaro up in my garage. I was talking to him one day, and he's like, I got this buddy named Herbie who always has a bunch of just really cool stuff laying around, and sometimes he gets rid of it super cheap. So he's like, you should come over, check out some of the stuff he has. He's got big blocks there. He's building a big tire Camaro, things like that. Just come check it out. And I was curious, like, the way he was back halfing cars, so I was like, yeah, let's go check it out. I don't really want to spend any money right now, but I'm always down to see the way other people are doing things. So the next morning we hop in the truck and head down there, and we're checking things out. And in his backyard he had two Mustangs. He had this one, which at the time I don't think had a hood on it. The doors were off it. They're only held in with one bolt each right now. The fenders weren't there, the bumper wasn't there. Basically, it looked like a parts car. Like, it was shell, hatch, wheels, and that was pretty much it. And then the other car that he had was a roller, but still a complete, really nice, I think like 1990 Foxbody with a full 12-point chromoly cage. Allegedly, the car's been 5s. Bogart wheels. It was a small tire car. It was really nice. And he had them both posted on Marketplace for either $4,000 or $5,000. And I was like, well, that's too much for me to afford, so I'm just gonna go look at the rest of your stuff. I was curious how he back half that Camaro. I wanted to see like the way people were doing things. So we're hanging out there for a little while, and Brandon and his son are talking to Herbie, and they're trying to talk him into trading Brandon's little S10 that he was putting together for the other Mustang, the blue Mustang. And I ended up leaving. My dad and I went down there. We ended up leaving early, and later that night Brandon texted me. He's like, hey, I got both those Mustangs. And I'm like, sweet, that's awesome. And he's like, yeah, so do you want a free Mustang? Done. How? He's like, I ended up trading that S10, a couple turbos and some other stuff for both Mustangs. He only wanted the drag Mustang, not the parts car. So he's like, if you want it, just come get it. I'm like, I don't need it. I'm like, all right, yeah. I mean, if it's free, sure, I'll come get it. And we ended up getting there the next morning, or whenever the next day, to go pick it up. And when Pops and I roll in there with the trailer, Brandon walks up to the door and he's like, the thing's complete and it has a title. We're like, what do you mean? And he walks us over and he's like, yeah, he's got both doors right here, he's got both fenders, here's the front bumper for it, and he's got a title. And I was like, I'm still kind of in shock, really. The only two caveats to the deal were it had like a Momo steering wheel, so he wanted to keep that, and for some reason they needed the latches, or not latches, the hinges for the hatch up here. I don't know why that was the deal, but there you go. So that's kind of how I ended up with a free, complete, I'm not gonna say rust free, but it's definitely rot free Foxbody Mustang. I hope that wind's not too bad. And he did have the 4th turbine there, which is sweet. Have all 4 matching wheels. I don't know why it has the 1 pony wheel on it when this one is holding the air. So obviously this thing's not like any sort of priority. This would be number 4 or 5, because there's Betty White, the Firebird. That's committed to a race in May, so I want to get that done so I have time to test it. And then James Brown, who I might work on a little bit today while I'm waiting for parts for everything else. And then the Monte Carlo. You could say Jack Black's in there, even though that's not mine. And then this. And I do have a plan in mind for this that I'm super excited about, and it's really hard not to get to work on this, but I really need to stay focused on everything else. So I'm not going to tell you what engine and transmission I'm going to put in it. I'm not going to say that. Some of you guys already know it. I've talked to a few people, so don't spoil it. But I will say it's not going to be LS. And then as for the rest of the car, I basically want to not really restore it, but I want to get it looking pretty good. I'll definitely obviously paint it. I don't know if I want to paint it the original red, which is really tempting, or if I want to paint it something else. I would kind of like to paint it the Calypso, because that's just a really cool color. But the problem with that is it has a complete red interior, and I don't really want to change that. So I'm kind of tempted to go back to the red. If it had like any other color interior, like gray or black or anything, sure, I would definitely do the Calypso. But having a complete red interior, I don't want to change all the interior. And I do have, aside from obviously the steering wheel, I do have the complete interior. He had the carpet for it, which was in really good shape. I actually teased this car a few weeks ago on my Instagram. I posted a picture of the carpet all laid out and cleaned. And I said, if anybody can guess what carpet this is, I'll make a video on the car and give you credit for it. So I think it was 86 Money Pit Fox was the first one to guess it in minutes. I thought it would take like easily close to an hour, but this guy, obviously, he's used to the Money Pit Foxes. He knew it immediately. But yeah, I do have complete carpet, center consoles there, back seats there. The headliner is there. It's not great. The one bummer is just because the way things were, we had to load it on the trailer backwards, and about when we were unloading the car, I noticed that the sunroof is no longer there, so that sucks. But yeah, basically I kind of want to make it from the outside look like a day 2 car. If any of you guys know what that is. And then as far as some of the other stuff that I got with the car, right up there is both front seats for it. The back seats were in the car, and then in that corner all rolled up is the carpet for it. I'll have to look. I didn't even think to look to see if the gas tank's in it. If it's not, I'll just use that fuel cell. And then here is the fiberglass bolt-on cowl hood for it, which I got for 50 bucks because it separated, which is an easy enough fix, I think. I'm just gonna lay it on some of the sawhorses over there and like coat everything with like an epoxy, and then lay the inner down and let it seal up. I might do that relatively soon just so it's done and I don't have to think about it anymore. But yeah, that is the new car. Like I said, I wasn't looking for one. I mean, Brandon knew that I'm a big Foxbody fan. My first car was an '86, and like I said, this thing's not very high on the priority list. I've got these 3 to do first. Like I said, I'm probably gonna get to work on that one here soon. But I do have a plan for it already that I'm super excited about, and I think it might piss off a few people. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.